Friends, denizens of the internet, hello, and welcome back to another classic one-shot over here at Lost Time Gaming. I am Devo. We are jumping back into the shoes of retro gaming at its finest, as today we're jumping back, way back, to a little handheld console I had about 1,000,000 years ago, the Sega GameGear. Now this is being emulated. Obviously you can see the embellished GameGear kind of stuff on the side there. Today we're checking out Dragon Crystal, which was one of the few games that I had for the Game Gear that wasn't kind of a pick up and play and throw away game like I had a Sonic game, I remember, for the Game Gear that was just you had to either play it to the very end every time because it was a game that was just ruthless and how difficult it was, or you didn't bother playing it at all. Dragon Crystal was, as you can hear from the sounds coming out of the emulator right now, Dragon Crystal had an awesome soundtrack, which is what I think kind of drew me to it originally. Now, obviously, the Game Gear is pretty old at this point. As you can see, this game's copyrighted 1991. Wow, that makes me feel old, because I was a little kid when this came out. But either way, we'll just get into it so you guys can see why, or at least maybe get an idea of why I thought this game was awesome. So this is the story. This is the maximum amount of story you get from this game. Oh no. Hold on, I don't think my controller's working. Alright, I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. This is Dragon Crystal. Start out unassumingly enough. You have 100 HP, and I believe we have a button here. We have a dagger. We have a robe. Nothing, 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 and more nothing. Good, good. No, don't get all crazy. You never know what we're gonna do. So you look down, we have FL1, Apprentice. We have 100 HP. Looks like we have a power of 2, I'm gonna say, and our AC is 0. We have 0 gold, and our F is 30. Whatever F is, I don't remember. But you basically walk around, and you pick up stuff like that. You pick up a yellow pot. What is a yellow pot? I don't know. Let's pull it out and use it. Why not? I feel better. So that was a heal. Okay. As you can see, there's a mean-looking enemy here. Let's see if we can run into it. I missed. Yes. Stab it. And I'm doing this just by moving the D-pad in the direction that this creature is, too. Defeated the enemy. You get anything? Nope. Okay. See, I found some food. Ah, see? That's what our F level is. That's food. Not only do we have life in this Game Gear game, we also have a survival system based on food. If we run out of food, which is, I believe, every step we take. If we look here, yeah. Oh, every X amount of steps we take costs food. So, as you can see, we're kind of like uncovering a maze here. And the thing is that because every one of these stages we go into is a maze, because there you go, there's that's the exit to level 2. But we're not going to take that, because as this game is about exploring mazes, and as you notice right behind me, we have a dragon egg with us, or rather, I know it's a dragon egg, you just think it's a giant egg. You want to explore every stage as much as possible within the constraints of having food. And there's a lot of tricks and tips you pick up on the way, like when you walk, you start to uncover an area, and it kind of gives you a section like this, where there's a little to the right and a little to the left. This will probably open up into a room, but not always. And long hallways with nothing, no rooms on either side, usually don't have anything in them. See, this is probably nothing. Oh, no, sometimes what you're doing is like you're encircling a much larger room sometimes. Yep, there we go. Picked up a violet rod. What does the violet rod do? I have no idea. Let's use it. It has no effect. And you can see that that's gone now. So what this does is there's lots and lots and lots of items in the game, and you have no idea what they do until you use them. So the next time we pick up a violet rod, or what the game has marked as a violet rod, what it'll actually be is it'll show us what it is. If it, like, cast sleep on the enemy, or maybe was used to remove a curse or an antidote to a poison. Now once we've used it, it'll tell us what it is. Although I've never found it to be good practice to actually just kind of, and you gotta be careful, sometimes you walk down the wrong rec room into, yep, now we're poisoned. Now we're screwed. Because poisoned is every time we move, I'm pretty sure, we take a point of damage. Which is pretty bad, considering we only have... Oh, it's so awkward, even though there's 2 buttons. Even though we only have a little bit of life. Oh, so it's not every step, it's every couple of steps. Kind of like food. I think it's every 3? No, it's every certain amount of steps. You lose a little bit of life. And I believe we can actually get better on our own, but that takes quite some time, if I recall correctly. We have 2 books. Now, the books are usually good, but not always good, so let's use one just to see what it does. I feel lighter. Oh, and that will teleport you to... Oh, we recovered, nice. That teleported us to another part of the stage. I think it's a part of the stage you already have uncovered, but still. Alright, how about the green book? Nothing happened. Okay, but it's okay that nothing happened, because 1, we just started the game, we're level 1, and 2, now that the next time we find a green book, it'll be whatever it's supposed to be when we pick it up. We'll see that it's cures poisons or whatever it does. You'll know, because it'll say it now. And the game is very unforgiving with enemies too. Very... Ooh, oh, see? This is not a colored book, so this is one of the things we picked up before. Now, considering you have to use a lot of deduction in this game, because this game gives you nothing. There's no guide, there's no tutorial, there's no hints even. It's just you exploring a maze and hoping you don't die. So deduction would tell me that blast doesn't sound like teleporting us to a random spot on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Book of Bless we picked up is probably to remove curses or some other unfortunate kind of malady we could pick up while perusing this dungeon. Ooh, a pink book. And the thing, again, about making sure you pick up everything and explore every room as much as you can and constrains every food, is that you notice we've killed a bunch of things and we're still level 1. This is a fairly long game for GameGear. Oh, see, we spawned an enemy that time. And that's terrible, because sometimes you spawn an enemy and it's not what you're thinking of. So we've got 2 violent rings. Now, sometimes, ooh, a gray pot. Sometimes, but not always, the colors are kind of parallel. Like, if you pick up a violet ring, it's probably going to be similar to a violet rod or a violet pot, but not always. So, let's use the violet ring. Is it cursed? It's probably cursed. It's always cursed. I can see better. Oh, so now, I believe we uncover sections of the map at a greater distance. I'm pretty sure that's what that does. Instead of being like a 1.5, I think it should be 3 now. No, it's still just 1. Alright, so maybe that did something else. I don't know. I used to be extremely knowledgeable about this game as a kid because it fascinated me. Oh, see, the wind rod probably lets us teleport to a different part of the stage. This game was so fascinating to me as a child because it was so deep for a GameGear game. You could probably go through the entire GameGear library and find something not as complex as this game. And that's what really drew me to it. Now, oh, that's unfortunate, because I believe that's an enemy, and it's one that'll just, oh, jack us up real bad. So let's try this great pot. What does that do? I got stronger. Ooh, I lost 7 points of life, though. That's unfortunate. But you can see our power level's at 2 now. And we gained a level, apparently. So let's try and kill this guy. We probably will die. But that's the name of the Dragon Crystal game, so to speak. Oh, our level went up again. Nice. Now we're Ranger. All right. And the best part about the levels in this game is that like your guy will start looking more threatening the further you make it. Just ignore the Easter Island head statues with the grinning faces. It's no big deal. I mean, it is a big deal. Very disturbing. Even as a kid, I was like, oh man, I don't like these stages. But the thing that unnerved me the most was that you never knew what was around the corner. You could, again, like you just saw there, we basically took a step and it opened up into a full room. Kind of like this might. Nope, no it didn't. But you never know. Is it a hallway? Is it a whole room? Is the room loaded with enemies? Is there an enemy directly by the entryway when you kind of unfurl a room? The answer is yes, you might die. Especially like that giant red crystal. That was a pretty tough enemy for level 2. We're still alive, obviously, but that could have easily killed us had we just been trying to walk away from it or anything else. As you noticed, using the great pot actually made the enemy like advance and take a turn, so to speak. Because everything is kind of turn-based in this. You know, a single step means the monster moves a single step. If you drink a potion, the monster can move and or attack. It's just there was so much to love about this game as a kid. This was another one of the games I played as a young lad that really kind of cemented my love of video games for me. It was just that there was something undeniably enticing about playing these games. And, you know, I didn't have access to a lot of literature that I enjoyed reading as a small kid. I had a lot of books, and I read them, of course. I read a lot. But I never really had anything I truly enjoyed, so video games were a great outlet for me for that. To access things you never really see otherwise. Alright, Black Book, I'm sure that's fine. It's blank. Well, that's great. I think we got a pink rod in here, yep. Don't make no jokes. Don't do it. Has no effect. Well, that's probably for the best. As you also notice, not only is there a use command, but you can also drop and throw these things. In a pinch, I have literally saved an entire, you know, maybe hour-long playthrough on this game by throwing a weapon at an enemy that I couldn't defeat, that like one more hit and it was gonna kill me. It's like, oh, I threw a weapon I wasn't using and it just exploded the enemy like it happened to be weak to that specific weapon. Like, I didn't have enough time to equip it and then attack. I just threw it at it and it died. Bronze book. Okay, money. Picked up a leather suit, which is great. Now, I remember the starting points of these games pretty well, so... Well, leather suit is obviously better than a robe. What we really want to get is the cuirass, which would, be way better than the leather suit, but the leather suit is better than nothing. So at this point, we just kind of have to look for more rooms and look for the exit. I think the minimum size of a room is basically like a 3x3 grid. So anything that's less than that, when it kind of unfurls, if you like open up a hallway or something along those lines, you can kind of feel pretty safe knowing that it's not going to be anything of importance. Like in here, there's plenty of room for there to be rooms here, so we'll go down here, but nope. No rooms to be had. So we go back to the beginning. Maybe there's another room here. Oh, there we go. Room? Nope. Sometimes instead of a room, it'll simply snake you around a path. That does happen. But now we're kind of at the point where you feel like we've uncovered everything, but we still haven't found the exit to the next stage. And that's where our food meter starts coming. You can see we're definitely starting to lose food now. We were at 70 on the first stage, we're at 50 now. Like I said, it's not a lot, but it is enough that if you ignore it, you'll probably die. And that was another great thing about this game, is that it made you be involved. You couldn't actively play this game and beat it. You never would in a million years. it was far too complicated for them. And now I say, ooh, there we go, complicated. I mean, obviously it's Game Gear, so it can only be so deep. But it's just so much fun to, because as you can see, like, we're on a totally different level than we were the first time. And you see now, fighting more than one enemy at a time, usually a bad idea. I'm starting to get trucked now. There we go. There we go. Seems like hitting the crystal is easier than this rolled up insect, I guess. Oh yeah, level went up. Now we're a soldier. And it isn't exactly common to make it this far in a single run. The random nature of this game is that you can not even make it to this point. Ooh, that's a tier 2 frog. That'll probably jack us up. We're gonna flee from that in hopes that we can find a better weapon, because we're still using our base weapon and it's not very good. And without finding a new weapon, we don't have much choice for survival. And this, you can tell, when the map does that, it's usually the sign that you're about to uncover a very large room. When it does like a diagonal up, so we go in here. No, there's got to be an entrance here somewhere. Where is it? Probably from the top. Is this it? No, come on. You know you want to give me, let me in. Boom, there it is. Broadsword, yes. So now, we go over here. So now, our power went from 4 to 16. So now let's chop this guy in half. Yeah, single hit. And it's one of those things where you pick up the weapon, you're like, oh, that's great. But like, what about the short sword? Is that any better? And it's like, no, that's not any better. But you keep the short sword and the dagger, just why not? You may have to throw it at an enemy and save your life someday. So I think all the starter weapons don't change the weapon on the character's hand, but once you start getting higher level weapons, the weapon in the character's hand will actually change colors and look really awesome. I think blue is one of the ones I've seen before. But yeah, there's just something about this book, or this game rather. And not to mention, like, for a Game Gear game again, like the music was awesome. I loved listening to even though it's a short loop, all the tracks in this game are catchy, regardless of how short they may be. And you just kind of clear rooms, and the game gets more and more difficult, obviously, with harder and harder enemies. You'll come across enemies that eat your armor, that eat your weapons. You'll find a sick-looking piece of gear, and you go to throw it on, and it's cursed, and then you can't take it off. And then you're screwed, pretty much, because you're doing very little damage, and you're running around looking for, like, a Book of Bless just to get the stupid weapon off that's cursed that you weren't thinking and put on. But then there's the potions and the rods. You can identify things before you use them. Oh, so much going on for such a little Game Gear game. So great. But I think I've yammered on and kind of fanboyed about Dragon Crystal long enough, as this game just kind of continues on like this, but, you know, gets more and more difficult as you go on. So, that being said, sorry there was no more Codelka this week. Work has been really hectic lately, and I just wanted to make sure I got something out tonight, so I figured I'd do this. So, that being said, if you want to see more Game Gear stuff, let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video today, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, and, you know, whatever else. That being said, thanks for watching, and as usual, I'll catch you all on the flip side.